I have my special guest. He's award-winning franchise consultant and franchise owner, helping professionals escape the 9 to 5 through smart, proven franchise business ownership. None other than Mr. Richard Potter.
Hey Daniel, thanks for having me.
Welcome, Mr. Richard on Book 101 Review. And can you please introduce more about yourself that I miss?
Yeah, absolutely. Rich Potter, live in Mesa, Arizona, married, three girls, and I am a business owner and a franchise consultant. Um, yeah, so I hope I run my own businesses. I have a couple of businesses, and I also help people get into business through smart franchising.
Is smart franchising. I'm inviting you to be part of my Entrepreneurship 101 and let's talk about entrepreneurship mindset, Mr. Brett. And thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world. Thank you. And today, let's talk about being you, award-winning franchise consultant and a multi-unit business owner. So, the core philosophy. Your success spans both consulting and multi unit ownership. What is the single most important philosophy or operating principle that you apply equally to advising others and running your own business?
Well, I think that's, that's a great question. I think honestly,
Thank you.
the single most important, and I think honestly it comes to like your core values, right? Like looking at what it is that is important to you. Getting back to those those values that you hold dear as a person, and finding businesses or business opportunities that align with that, and surrounding yourself with people that help you know do that as well.
hmm Definitely. Surround with people that are good, that will support you.
Yep, for sure.
So, Mr. Rich, what was the pivotal experience or realization that made you move from being a successful operator to also becoming a consultant? Was there a gap in the industry you felt compelled to fill?
Well, it actually came through a connection that I made, who is the president of the brokerage that I belong to. I've been consulting. So initially, I started an Amazon business, an e-commerce business, about 12 years ago, and ran that for about 6 or 7 years. Began coaching and consulting in the Amazon space and helping people start businesses in e-commerce. But I felt that not everybody was suited for e-commerce businesses, and I was that was the only thing that I could help and teach people to get into, and I connected with a gentleman, William Huffine, who, like I said, is the president of the brokerage I belong to, and he was helping people as a franchise consultant. So this is a few years ago. I spent some time with him, learning about what he was doing, and his integrity first approach to helping people get into business through franchise ownership. And after spending some time with him, I decided to join his team. So I'm part of the team called the Quantum Franchise Group. I'm a senior agent with them, and yeah, we just take an approach to not finding that the franchise that is the hottest, or the one that everyone thinks of McDonald's and Subways, right? But we take the approach of like matching the person with the right opportunity and designing the lifestyle that you want. And we match it with the business that reflects that, right? Versus just trying to find something that, the hottest thing or the biggest commission or whatever, right? Like we want that person to feel perfectly aligned with the business they're starting. So it's a very systematic approach that we take in trying to match you with business that aligns with your values, with aligns with the lifestyle you want to create. So that's what we do.
Awesome, then. Awesome, Mr. Rich. Defining award winning. Awards often recognize exceptional results. Beyond revenue or unit count, what specific outcomes or client transformations do you believe your consulting approach delivers that set in apart?
Well, we're part of the Franchise Brokers Association, and our brokerage was awarded the Franchise Brokerage of the Year last year. So huge accomplishment for our group. It's really about it's not about the number of people we help out, but it's back to like changing people's lives. I've been a independent business owner now for 10 years, self-employed now for 10 years, and I can tell you being a business owner has absolutely changed my life in so many ways. The freedoms that it's provided me and my family, and that's at the end of the day like the work that I do at helping people. Most of the people I help do decide to leave the 9 to 5, or they've already left it. Um, but that business ownership that they're taking on, the growth, the personal growth, they're changing their family's financing, right? The finances for life. It's something that it takes time. It takes a struggle. It comes with a certain amount of fear and a certain amount of risk. But seeing people take that risk and seeing people change their lives in a much better way is very rewarding. One of my best friends was one of the first people that invested in a business with me. We've been friends since we were 5, and he started a vending machine business. And he's only been doing it for a year and a half or so now. He's up to 22 vending machines. Making well over 6 figures a year doing something that gives him freedom. Provides a great way of living for him and his family. So seeing people change their lives is very rewarding.
Rewarding indeed. People take the risk. Come on. And learn something if you fail. Then do it again and again and again. So, Mr. Rich, you sit in both the franchisor's chair and the franchisee's chair. Where do you most often see a fundamental misalignment of expectation between these two parties, and how do you bridge it?
That's a good question. I the franchise that I own currently, well, and I've owned a couple, right? So the one I currently own is an indoor digital billboard franchise. NTV 360 is what it's called, and we install TV screens inside of businesses and then run ads on those. So it's hyper local advertising, community driven. It's an incredible franchise. I've only owned it for about 6 months, so we were very much in the launch phase. This is one that I feel aligns very well with my skill set. I actually bought it with my brother, so we're building it together. And there's a lot of alignment there with my skill set as in sales and with connecting with people. But what was it? 2019 was my first franchise I bought, and I bought a gym, a small gym, and it was a resale. And I didn't use a franchise consultant to make sure that I was well aligned and matched. And I thought, well, I love working out, so of course I'm going to love owning a gym. And
Hmm.
it wasn't until after I purchased it that realized that I personally didn't really align very well with how the business was ran. The coaching that was provided by the franchisor wasn't very good. um, Again, like maybe had I used a consultant and known some things ahead of time, I would have noticed that there wasn't great alignment there and there wasn't great support. And I was chasing that hot, gym that I thought was going to be great versus finding something that matches my strengths and my personality and my skills better. Um, so with that first one, there was a lot of misalignment with what I expected as far as training and going after what I thought was popular and trending versus something that I think I could build. Like the one I have now is something that we're building something really special in the marketplace.
Very well said, Mr. Rich. So, when a prospective franchise brings you the concept they excited about, what are the non-negotiable items you examine first, and the franchisee's disclosure document and operational manual to assess its visibility?
Yeah, I spend a lot of time in the franchise disclosure documents or the FDDs. There's some really important items in there that you should be very well aware of. The item 7 is going to be a very important section that you need to make sure you understand, and we can go over that. I go over that with any of my clients, but the item 7 breaks down the investment range, and it line by line talks about every single item that is required to either pay the franchisor or different vendors. But it's the franchise fee, it's the operational expenses to get started. Do you need a brick and mortar? What are you going to spend in marketing? How much capital should you have on hand to run the business? So it breaks that down very well. So definitely pay attention to that. Item 19 is the franchisor's earnings claim section. So in most cases, I see it as a red flag if that franchisor is not disclosing earnings claims, and they don't have to, but the best franchises do. So take a look at the item 19, and then item 20 leads to how many franchise owners are in the system, shows what states they operate in, how many, is that franchise opening more franchise locations, or are they closing them? You can see closures, you can see opening. So definitely pay attention. If you're seeing a large number of closures, obviously that's a red flag. But in that franchise document, you can find the franchise owners in the system, where they're from, the phone numbers. uh, Hugely important, even more so important than reading and understanding that document, is talking to those other owners in the system. They have a really good feel for what it takes to run this business, what the training is like, how it's provided by the franchisor, what their experience is with their business coach, and operating expenses, and how long did it take to get profitable. Like, you'll find out more talking to other franchise owners than you will talking to a consultant like me or talking to the franchisor. And that is by far and away the most important part, as it relates to the information you can find in the document.
So, Mr. Rich, as award-winning franchise consultant, as a franchise owner, what are your short-term and long-term goals?
Yeah, I my goals are to help people start businesses, right? To be where I am. I'm not a big goal setter per se. Like, I look at values. In my opinion, values mean more than goals. Goals are temporary, where values are permanent, right? So when your values are aligned with who you really are, those values, like for me, like I value autonomy and growth, impact, ownership, right? So your decisions, in my opinion, they become clearer and more resilient long term when you base that off of values versus goals. But if I can see that I'm changing people's lives and affecting them in a positive way through getting into ownership, then I feel that I'm achieving those goals, if you will, right?
Definitely. Achieving that goals and looking forward for more success, Mr. Rich. And good luck to that goals. And can you please recommend a book or books that influenced your journey?
Absolutely. So when I was in the corporate world, so I used to work for a sales company, before I started my business ventures. I came across a book called The Subtle Art of Not Giving an F. Right? I don't know
Yes.
what your audience feels about bad language, but it was definitely one of the most influential books I've ever read. I've read it a couple of times now. I think for me, it helped me kind of recenter myself. Helped me learn that you can't care about everything, and you shouldn't. I think most people, they burn themselves out trying to please everyone and trying to chase external validation, right? But that real fulfillment comes from choosing a smaller number of things that actually matter and letting the rest go. right? So I think that's what I
Hmm.
learned from that book more than anything is like focus on what matters, figure out what matters, focus on that, and then just don't worry about the rest. Don't don't give a flip, right? Um,
Yes.
so yeah, I love that book. I said I've read it a couple of times, and I go back to it every couple of years.
Thank you for the recommended book, Mr. Ritz. And what will your piece of advice for those people out there who want to be like you?
Um, Man, I think every one of you, every one of us, I've experienced it myself. Is fear of the unknown, and I think just jumping in and facing that fear is it's the hardest part, I think, but it's also the most rewarding and most valuable. So, um, I love being a business owner. I love helping people get into business through franchising. I think it's the safest way to start a business because of the support systems, the proven concept that you're building with a team. And so that I think helps overcome that fear, but it's always going to be there, right? So I think just be confident in your strengths, be confident in the team that's going to be around you, and face that fear head on, and you'll be able to build something pretty amazing.
Yes. Face that fear, people. Face it and conquer it. So, thank you for that advice, Mr. Ritz. Then tell us, looking across your consulting clients, what type of success story beyond financial gives you the most professional satisfaction?
Um, Beyond financial, so yeah, just seeing people, it's changing their lives, but it goes beyond financial, right? Um, I have a client in Minneapolis that purchased a home inspection franchise a couple years ago, and to see him build that for himself and for his family legacy, but also like he's hired 3 or 4 people already. He's providing meaningful employment for people around him and his community. So it almost has this multiplying effect, right? Like I've helped him find the right business for him. It was a great match for him. It aligned very well with his skill set and what he wanted to accomplish. But now, a couple years in, he's employing multiple people. He's helping change other people's lives, and he's providing a very meaningful service for homeowners. And at the same time, he's employing lots of people. So it's cool to see like when I have an effect on people, one to one, but then to see them grow and then them start affecting and helping other people is is super cool.
Super cool for sure. And where do you see the biggest opportunity for innovation in the franchise model itself over the next 5 years? Is it financing, territory structures, or supporting technology?
It's got to be technology. I think AI is changing everything so fast. I don't think there's too many changes in the financing world. Like most people still get SBA loans or 401k rollovers. Um, territories sizes are staying relatively the same. All that kind of stuff. Like it doesn't change a ton in the franchising space. Maybe a new franchisor has a different perspective on it, but I think the changing technology and embracing AI and teaching your franchisees like how to use it, using it in their different tools and approaches to market is going to have the biggest effect on franchisee success, right? I think the franchisors that adapt the fastest are going to have the most impact with their owners.
Yes, definitely. So, Mr. Rich, before we wrap up our discussion for today, I'm inviting you to please do listen to my other podcast because my other podcast, people, my abstract essay is already in sixth season, abstract poetry in third season. and Mob Buko 101 review in sixth season too, Comedy 101 in a third season, and Food 101 in sixth season as well. Geography 101, Love Letters, Movie 101 review, Music 101, our fourth season, Science 101, Sex 101 in its third season, and Trivia 101, Law 101, Mental Health 101, Motivation 101, Entrepreneurship 101, and Bible Verses 101 are my baby podcasts. So please listen to them wherever you listen your podcast. So finally, Mr. Rich, for someone listening who is intrigued by financing but overwhelmed, what is the very first concrete action you would tell them to take this week to start their journey on the right foot?
Well, I think enlisting a professional like myself, right? Whether it's me or someone else, there's lots of great consultants out there. We spend a ton of time in learning about these franchises. We know the good ones from the bad ones, right? I think franchising has gotten a bad rep, and for a good reason in a lot of cases, right? There's some bad franchises out there, and I would definitely enlist a franchise consultant who has been doing it for a little while, has got some experience. Like I said, we spend a lot of time like learning, sifting out the good from the bad. And like me, for example, I represent nearly 600 different franchise concepts across 37 different industries. I've got great tools available to like I have all of my clients take an assessment, an entrepreneurial assessment that really digs into who the person is, right? So instead of chasing that hot commodity franchise, instead of chasing that passion, like let's find one that you're perfectly aligned with financially, mentally, emotionally, one that fits your strengths and your goals. Because then once you get into business ownership, you're not going to feel friction, right? Because it's not something that you align with. So you can do a lot of research on your own. There's over 4,000 franchises in the US, and you can buy direct, right? But it doesn't cost any more to use a consultant. My service is 100% free. And my goal is to find that perfect fit for you. And you're going to go through the due diligence process with the franchise, one-on-one with them to learn about it. And I'm here to help coach and guide and redirect if we ever need to. Like if we didn't find the right one the first couple of times, we'll try again until we find the right one. But I just, like I said, it's free to use a consultant. So enlist the service of a professional who's in the day-to-day of franchising all the time.
Yes, people, let's support Mr. Rich. Mr. Rich, so can you please invite our listeners to support your advocacy, your business, or whatever projects that you're doing right now?
Yeah. I mean, you can reach me. You have my website up there. You reach me at franchiseheroes.co. I'm on LinkedIn, so you can find me on LinkedIn. Just Rich Potter. And of course, my email, rich at Quantum Franchise Group. But I got a lot of great information on the website, so definitely check that out.
Yes, people, let's support Mr. Rich Potter because if you support him for sure, more and more franchise business worldwide. So, Mr. Rich, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Daniel.
More to come, people. See you soon.